My name is Julian. I'm the farm manager here at Featherfield Farm in Lollymore West, County Kildare. We're a mixed farm, beef, sheep, chickens, and we run an education centre as well. The farm is owned by Mark and Alison Hurst. It's due to glacial deposits, and it put a lot of alluvial soil in the middle of the Bog of Allen and allows about 200 hectares of good quality farmland right in the middle of the bog. It makes for ideal farmland. There's such an abundance of nature here because we're organic. We don't use any chemicals or sprays. That really promotes insect life on the farm, and we work in close conjunction with the Bog of Allen Centre next door, and they're into peatland conservation. They work with us, they tell us what they want us to plant on the farm, which suits insects. We have insects, otters, voles, shrews, any abundance, and we have the really rare marsh fertility butterfly on the farm as well. We don't believe in monocultures here, so we want a mix of everything, clovers especially for nitrogen fixation. We really go for a very mixed sward, and it's very beneficial to the animals as well, and makes for a really high quality fodder source in the winter when we conserve silage. On the farm we keep Dexter cattle. They're a rare native Irish breed, and we keep them because they're really appropriate for the Irish farming system. They're quite light on the ground, so it avoids poaching. They're really hardy, so we out-winter them 365 days of the year. And here's a good example of our mixed grazing system. They're in with our hens. We think mixed grazing is a really good way to go in terms of weed control, and as well as that, the sward gets grazed really evenly because each species eats different types of plants. We keep our cows here for beef enterprise, and we sell all our beef direct to the consumer. It really lowers the carbon footprint and it increases traceability, and people love to be able to come and actually see where their meat is being produced. On Featherfield Farm we have lots of wildlife corridors. This would be the main one that we have here. It provides a route for all the different types of wildlife we have here to go between the habitats on the farm. So here we've open pasture, and then this leads straight into a piece of woodland, and it makes cover for things like shrews, voles. We even have otters here, and we ran a grey partridge reintroduction scheme, and there's remnants of that here, and we have seen the birds doing well in the wild even today. We have an egg-laying enterprise on the farm, and we retail all our eggs through an honesty box. Customers stop and they purchase the eggs here. Kids love it especially. They really love to get out of the car and buy the eggs, and we manage to retail all our eggs through this. So as a natural method of disease prevention, parasite prevention, we keep goldfish in all our drinkers. They eat things like midge larvae, fly larvae, keep it really clean, the water as well, and it's a natural way of doing that. The lake is the most diverse habitat we have on the farm. We see any amount of wildlife down here, and it's a real sanctuary for them. And we have the really rare marsh fertility butterfly, and we worked in conjunction with a local butterfly expert, and he advised us on what plants to put in. For example, we have irises to hold the bank in place, but they still provide a flower. We have many shrubs, pheasant berries. They're a game crop. They're providing food for different birds. It's really specifically planted for wildlife and nature, and to preserve it. There's loads of advice I can give to farmers just based on our own farm. When we clear any land for grazing, there's always so much wood left over, and it can be stacked into insect hotels, which makes a massive difference to their population. Definitely select for good quality mixed grassland. It has so many benefits for both the soil and all the microbes in the soil, as well as the wildlife that lives in the grass and around. With farming and nature in general, I think it's important to strike the right balance. Farming in Ireland is really profit driven, so if there's no money in something, people aren't likely to do it. But I think implementing the simple things that work hand in hand with nature is really important, and I think a lot of farmers can do it without affecting their profitability. For us, the key thing is we're only visitors in the land, so we want to leave it better than we found it, and we're always striving to do that while still running a business and getting an income. But definitely it's a priority that we leave the land that we've got in a better state than we found it.